Bureau of Indian Standards, the national standards body of India, has published the Indian Standard on Anti-Bribery Management System called the ABMS, which is an identical adoption of the corresponding international standard ISO 37001. This standard is a guidance tool to help organizations in building upon their anti-bribery compliance program, aimed at ensuring that systems are in place to prevent, detect, respond, and thereby reduce instances of bribery. Based on global best practices, ABMS acts as your eyes and ears to make sure that there's no power play. Like any other management system, this standard sets forth the requirements and guidance for establishing, implementing, maintaining, and continuously improving an anti-bribery management system. Of the various core components, the understanding of the organization and its context is of prime importance, for which factors like the nature, scale, and complexity of its activities are relevant. Thereafter, a series of other elements such as leadership, planning, support, operation, evaluation of performance, and resultant improvement contribute towards building up a robust ABMS. This standard is quite flexible and can be adapted to a wide range of organizations covering large-scale SMEs and also those in public, private sector as well as the NGOs. So if you're thinking of going ahead with adopting ABMS for your organization, you need to tick some crucial checkboxes. Firstly, you need to bring out a formalized anti-bribery policy, which would be your statement of intent and would be implemented as a protocol. This very policy would then provide a framework for setting, reviewing, and achieving anti-bribery objectives. Needless to say, the top management becomes the most important entity from which the vision and commitment to promote anti-bribery culture percolates down the line. One would agree that different categories of personnel in an organization pose different types and degrees of bribery risks and therefore need specific handling through the risk assessment and management procedures, including training. But the aspect which is core to all of this is zeroing down on the actual bribery risks specific to the organization and assessing them for their impact. Every organization needs to plug in areas which are prone to bribery, but must specifically keep check over procurements and recruitments, which are widely known to be the most vulnerable by virtue of their nature. Thus, keeping a watchful eye on every such sector would turn out to be a preventive step for any major adversities. The organization must just not implement financial controls that manage bribery risk, but also must implement non-financial controls with respect to areas such as procurement, operations, sales, human resources, legal, and regulatory activities. After putting in all the required measures, one must also carry out evaluation to see if the applied checks and balances are working fine to mitigate bribery risks or whether any corrective measures are needed to be undertaken for improvement. When it comes to assessing bribery risks, an organization must figure out the risks which can be real troublemakers for their functioning. Basically, there are two factors which are of prime importance in this process, that is, impact or the severity of a risk and the likelihood of a risk to actually happen. These factors would always be unique to every organization and must be weighed carefully while assessing their magnitude in terms of their scores. The activities which, by virtue of their nature, receive a higher bribery risk score require suitable control mechanisms to address them, and this is how an organization starts tackling its issues one at a time for continual improvement. So once an organization applies for ABMS certification, here's a course they need to go through. There's a preliminary step called the Stage 1 audit, wherein an assessment is made to check if the key requirements of the standard are met and whether the system is capable of proceeding to the next level. Then there's a Stage 2 audit, wherein the focus is to assess the effectiveness of the system vis-a-vis its implementability and readiness for operation. The applicant organization is given opportunities to improve upon any observations raised during these two audits. Subsequent review by independent auditors, if all is found well, then certification for ABMS is granted to an organization. Talking of stats, organizations like CWC, CMPDI and BRBNL have already adopted ABMS during the past Vigilance Awareness Weeks, with the first ABMS certificate awarded to CWC during VAW 2020 for their corporate office in New Delhi, along with 14 regional offices spread across the country. At the global level, there are more than 2,000 organizations who have adopted ABMS spread across their 6,000 sites. Here's the fee structure if you wish to apply for ABMS certification from BIS. Organizations can also make use of certain fee relaxations, especially if yours is a central, state or local government or a charitable organization working on a no-profit, no-loss basis. This information is also available on BIS website. ABMS is an institutionalized answer to ensuring that systems are in place in the organization to ascertain that preventive measures are taken so that any instance of bribery or deviation from standard government procedures do not occur. Not only is ABMS an excellent preventive vigilance tool, but it is also a great means for prevention of corruption. And the beauty of ABMS is that it is a management system which can be integrated seamlessly into the existing control mechanisms and procedures of an organization. So, if you wish to go ahead in the direction of taking up ABMS certification from BIS, here's how you can apply. Using the relevant links available on BIS website, you can either apply online through the BIS login or you may send offline applications using the given form and questionnaire. For any further queries regarding submission of applications for ABMS, you may contact Head of the Management Systems Certification Department at BIS headquarters at the given details. Please visit BIS website at www.bis.gov.in for more information.